Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We're from Group 1 and today we would like to talk about a research article by Mubashir and others in 2021 titled Application of Theo van Leeuwen's Critical Discourse Analysis in Liputan's Nam.com News on the dissolution of BSNP. So this article looks at how the media uses language to shape how we perceive an event, especially in the case of SNP, a national education board in Indonesia that was shut down. So this study uses a method by Theo van Leeuwen, and this method helps us see how words in news can hide power, show bias, and make one side look better than the others. And this article focuses on how Liputan6.com reported the end of SNP, an issue that raised a lot of debate in Indonesia. Now let's go to the basic of the methods that they used.
For the overview, Van Leuween analysis illustrates the role of language in the social construction of reality and the distribution of power. This model stresses that a text should be analyzed within a broader sociocultural, historical, and political context to reveal masked ideologies. That difference is made between the exclusion strategies in passive forms, nominalization, and close reduction with elites agency and marginalize certain actors, and inclusion strategies which highlight certain groups or perspectives that serve to perpetuate the dominance narrative. In the coverage of the BSNP dissolution by Liputan6.com, the technique analyzed in the discourse analysis show how language is used to shift the balance of power.
Okay, so I'm going to explain you about the data collections. So this research used a qualitative descriptive approach with content analysis as the main method, and data was collected from news article on liputan6.com that reported on the dissolution of BSNP. The researchers analyzed the language used in these articles to understand how the issue was framed and to support and deepen their interpretations. They also referred to relevant literature, including books, journal, and other academic sources, helping to place their findings in broader context.
So socially, in Indonesia, education is really important for a better life. So when the government removed BSNP, some people were worried, but the article here used passive language like kebijakan dinilai buruk, dinilai. So without saying who thought that. And then historically, since 2015, the government has taken more control of education, and not everyone agrees with that. So removing BSNP is a big change. And culturally, Indonesian culture respects authority, and that's why the article avoids using or blaming anyone directly. So it uses general phrases like some experts instead of naming the critics.
The next is discourse analysis. Van Leeuwen discourse framework was used to examine how language in the media shapes public perceptions and power relations. So this framework identifies two key strategies. The first one is exclusion and inclusion. So exclusion strategies such as vague language, diversification, and nobilization often hide responsibility and minimize marginalized voices.
For the ideological analysis in the study examines how language scrutiny within news discourse to uncover beliefs and power relations that construct the news. Using Van Leeuwen's approach, the researcher employs specific discourse strategies such as making meaning through exclusion or inclusion. For example, exclusion strategies like active avoidance such as passive, nominalization, and close deletion. Conceal agency metaphors while minimizing the dissenting or marginalized groups to reinforce prevailing political or socio hegemony. Inclusion strategies such as a differentiation, objectification, and various forms of nomination serve to legitimize targeted positions, allies, and assert the aggravated dominant force. This stripping away of language mediates the bias and agenda the author sought to advance, demonstrating and constructing in discourse how power is contested and relation maintained within the media.
So, for the interpretation of findings, this study shows that language helps shape how we see the world and who holds power. Some ways of using language, like hiding who did what, can silence people and protect those in control. Other ways can make certain groups seem more important. This shows that power is not just shown by language, it's built into it. By choosing words carefully, the media can change how people think and either support or question the way things are.
Alright, for the next one is the example from the article. Media shapes public perception through language. Passive sentences hide who's responsible, while nouns, like dissociation, shift focus from people to actions. Teachers are made invisible by being left out. Media also use numbers instead of vague terms, and labels like independent can harm an institution's image. This shows how language keeps power structures in place.
So, in conclusion, the study shows that Van Leuwen's method helps us see how language shapes power and social reality. By looking at how people are included or excluded in different ways, we see how the media can quietly influence public opinion by praising some and blaming others. This method helps uncover hidden messages in language and gives us a useful tool to study power and society in the future. So that's all from our group. If you have any question, please comment down below. Thank you.